Welcome to Unique Wiki.
Imagine waking up each morning already knowing which trades will soar and which will crash. No predictions, no risk, just flawless certainty because you've already lived the day before. What if someone built a system to exploit this time loop, turning yesterday's knowledge into today's unstoppable fortune? And what if that power fell into the wrong hands? Maya lived in a small apartment with a humming fridge and a stack of overdue bills. She was 28, a cashier at the grocery store on Maple Street. Her days were a loop of scanning items, ringing up groceries, and answering polite questions. Money slid out of her paycheck like water through a crack. She dreamed of a life where she could eat without worry, but each dream felt like a distant echo. One rainy night she stayed late at work. The cashier's register glowed and a small flyer fell off the desk. It read, "The Sleep Ledger, turn dreams into dollars." Maya lifted the flyer. The words were printed in a strange, swirling font that made her feel a shiver crawl down her spine. At the bottom, a single line, "Find the key in the dream." She did not know who wrote it. She pressed the flyer into her pocket and left. On her way home, her phone buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. Curious? The first step is simple: listen when you sleep. She was skeptical, but her hope was a thin thread that could snap. The night after, she dreamed of a bright blue river flowing under a silver moon. The dream felt real. When she woke, she saw the same blue river reflected on the window of the grocery store. A part of her felt as if the dream had been more than just a dream. She wrote the word river in her notebook. The next day she typed river into a search engine. The results were a forum called Night Walkers. It had threads about money tricks, obscure economics, and one strange thread titled "Sleeping with the Ledger." The post was written by a user named Sparrow. Sparrow claimed that there was a hidden ledger in dreams that recorded the future of the markets. If you could read it while you slept, you could know what would happen the next day. Maya could not sleep. She thought of the river and the idea that her dreams might be maps. She tried to keep her mind still, but the thought of a future filled with money kept her awake. When dawn came, she was tired, but she felt a strange pull. She opened a notebook and wrote down the words from the dream: river, silver, blue. She posted a message to Sparrow asking if the ledger existed. The reply came within minutes. Sparrow's message was simple: you need a key. The key is the name of the person who first dreamed the river. Search that name in the night archives. Maya visited the library the next day. The librarian, a kind old woman named Lena, helped her find an old diary from a man named Elias. Elias had written about a dream of a river that turned into a flood that changed the town's economy. Maya felt a chill. Maybe Elias was the key. She returned home and typed Elias into the ledger search. The screen flashed a green symbol, a circle with a dot in the center. Sparrow sent another message: the circle is the entry. Open it when you sleep. The ledger will open. Maya was afraid, but she also felt a thrill that she had not felt in months. That night she lay in her bed, the circle glowing on her phone screen. She pressed her fingertips to the screen. The world around her blurred. The ceiling of her room stretched into a sky that glowed with stars. The dream river appeared again, but this time it carried bright coins in its currents. The coins fell into her hands in the dream, and she felt the weight of real money. She woke with a rush of excitement. She checked her bank account. The balance had grown by $100. She did not understand how, but the numbers were there. She had made a small fortune without working. The next day she tried again. The dream river had a bank of coins in it. The coins fell into her account again, this time $1,000. She felt a surge of joy that bubbled into panic. If this was real, she could become rich, but what would happen if she kept using it? Maya started to sleep each night with the circle open. She grew richer and richer, but she noticed subtle changes. Her dreams became short, almost flat, as if she was waking up before the dream could finish. Her days felt dull. She started missing the excitement of the grocery store and the small conversations with customers. She began to feel detached from reality. She wondered if the ledger was stealing something. On a bright afternoon, a new message appeared from Sparrow. You have a choice. Keep using the ledger and let the world shift, or close the ledger and return to the ordinary life. The world is built on what we believe, and the ledger is a mirror that reflects what we are willing to become. She could keep using the ledger, but she feared that she was becoming a monster, turning dreams into a tool. She could close it, but she could also lose her chance at a life without debt. She could also consider the bigger picture. If people used the ledger, would the market collapse? Would the world lose its meaning? One night she dreamed a different river. This time it was black, and the coins were melting. The dream told her to close the ledger. She felt a shiver of fear. She knew that if she ignored the dream, she would sleep with the ledger again, and the dream would turn into a nightmare. The next morning she shut her phone and turned the circle off. She closed the ledger. She did not check her bank. The balance stayed the same. She had lost $1,000, but she felt a weight lift from her chest. Maya realized that the ledger had not only given her money, it had shown her that waking life was a dream she could choose to ignore. The ledger taught her that sleep is the only true reality, because it is in sleep that the mind is free to imagine. The waking world, with its endless tasks and expectations, felt like a nightmare, a place where dreams were forgotten. A few weeks later, a news article ran in the local paper. A bank had collapsed after a group of people used a mysterious sleep ledger to predict market trends. People had lost their jobs, their homes, their lives. The article called the ledger a tool of manipulation and urged caution. Maya sat on her balcony, watching the stars, and she thought about the river in her dreams. The river had once been a map to riches, but it had become a mirror to her soul. She wondered what would happen if she reopened the ledger. Would she become richer but lose her humanity? Or would she find that the greatest wealth was not money but the dream of a life lived fully? She closed her eyes and let the night take her. The river returned, but this time it was full of color and laughter. The coins were gone, but the water was bright. She felt the pull of both worlds. She had the choice to return to the waking nightmare or to dream in the realm of true reality. Maya decided to walk forward with her life, not with the ledger, but with the memory of the dream. She kept the circle off, but she kept the river in her heart. She understood that while sleep gives us peace, the waking world requires courage to believe that we can be more. She realized that the ledger was a lesson. Waking life might be a dream we do not see, and sleep is the only place where we can see the truth of ourselves. When she went back to the grocery store the next day, she greeted the regular customers with a smile. She felt their stories, her own story, and the world did not feel like a nightmare anymore. Instead, she felt that she was awake inside a dream, and she could choose the colors of that dream. The night still had the river, but Maya chose to let the waking world be a place she could imagine and rebuild. The ledger was a mirror, and she had learned that the only true reality is the one you dream, while waking life is the canvas that holds the story of that dream.
Found this interesting? Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like, share it out, and drop your questions or ideas in the comments. Until our next adventure.